All right, show me the money for the first time in NBA edition of the Show Me the Money. Here we're going to do some NBA over unders at the season set to start this week. Joining me today to do that, one of my big co-hosts on the Sky Guys podcast, big NBA guy Nick Fraietta is here. Nick, how are you?
Doing well. Never talked NBA with you before, so excited to do so.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is gonna be part of NBA week here on the podcast. We're gonna do an NBA preview episode later in the week, so I think this is sort of the setup here. I gotta say, it's been a very fun offseason. There's a lot of player movement.
Yeah, it seems like every year there is in the NBA. I guess just the way that the CBA is structured, but there's a lot of movement. So this year, no exception.
Yeah, I mean, whether it was the Jazz blowing up or Gobert going to Minnesota and Donovan Mitchell going to Cleveland, the Jalen Brunson stuff, there's a lot of big names on the move.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
There's been some under the radar trades too that could have some, you know, some important stuff going on for the future, and little things that we don't even notice that could be a big deal. So we'll see.
Yeah, but you got that. You got the whole drama with Ime Udoka getting suspended for the year for the affair with the female employee of the Celtics. Like it's wild the NBA had that cycle. I never cannot remember even 15 years ago the news cycle didn't go as long as it does now for the NBA.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited for the season. The NBA is in a good place. It's a lot of good parity in the league where I really don't feel like there's a team or two that are guaranteed to win. Where it was that way for a good 7 years, probably. And the league is, I think, much better off for it now. We have a lot of teams that can compete, and I guess that's why we're doing this because there could be a lot of teams that do well.
Yeah, over the past years, I've done NFL over-unders, usually with Joe Daloisio. MLB over-unders I've done with your brothers in annual edition. First time, you suggested NBA over-unders. We're going to do two overs, two unders, and season-long win totals. This is your idea here, so I'm glad you brought this up because I think it's a good addition to the podcast cycle here.
Yeah, I'm excited to do it. I've never done this before. I've never done win totals before in the NBA. I've done them in baseball, and I've done them in the NFL, but I've never done them in the NBA before, and I'm excited to get into that.
All right, let's get it all started here. Since you are the guest, I give you the choice. You like to have the first pick or the second and third pick? So we're going to do a snake after that.
I'll take second and third. You can go ahead.
All right. I'm going to take this one here, and I think I love it off the top of my head here. The Denver Nuggets over 49 and a half wins. I mean, you look at this team last year, they won 48 games without Jamal Murray the entire season, with Nikola Jokic being an MVP caliber player the entire season. Now you get Murray back, you should have Michael Porter Jr. back, and I don't think the West has gotten that much better. I think getting two more wins of the Nuggets is a solid play with Murray back. So I'm going to take the over on the Nuggets.
I love it. I love your choice there. If I had three overs, that was definitely my third one. I love it for all the reasons you said. They also brought in KCP, Contavious Caldwell Pope, is a good shooter. I think that's a really, really good team in Denver, and as long as those guys can stay healthy, I think they're going to be a top three seed in the West.
Absolutely. Here you are up now. You have all your options available to you. Where are you gonna go? Your
So
first
do
one.
I have to give you my two overs first?
You can do it any order you like.
Okay, so first I'm going to give you an over.
Okay.
I want the Milwaukee Bucks with the over. The Bucks are sitting at 52 and a half. It's the second highest win total in the league, but I think this is the most hungry team in the NBA. First off, I think they're one of the best teams in the NBA. I mean, they're only a year removed from a championship, but this is the hungriest team in the league. The way they were eliminated from the playoffs last year, they were kind of embarrassed. They were kind of set down a peg where it's been so many years of disappointment, and they finally won, and then went right back to the disappointment. I think they are hungry, and they are not going to they're going to be a ruthless team. Take a look at some other teams, like maybe not this year. And I also don't want to give you good ideas for an under, but with the Heat had LeBron James, like a lot of the teams would be like, we don't have to try. We know we'll make the playoffs anyway. What's the difference if we're the 2 seed or the 1 seed? They kind of pack it in, rest their starters. The Bucks seem like a team that are not going to do that. They want to play basketball. They want to win. They're pissed off about how last season ended, and I think they're going to be the NBA's equivalent of the President's Trophy this year in the NBA, in the league.
You think it's as close to like a 55, 56, 57 win team?
I do. I do. I think they could even win 60 games. I think I think when other teams are not trying in April and in the dog days of January, they're gonna be putting their guys out there every night with the intent of this is our year.
Yeah, and you look at what happened to them last year too. I mean, in the playoffs, they had all the injuries. I mean, Chris Middleton going down. I think if he's healthy, I think they end up winning that series.
And the end, not to mention, I believe, could be wrong with this, I believe they are the most, the word I'm looking for is the least turnover in the league of any team this year. They are bringing back the same team.
Yeah, a lot of continuity.
Yeah, a lot of continuity on the Bucks. They're bringing back the same team, and I think it's going to pay dividends.
All right, so you have one more pick here. You have both your unders and another overs. What do you want to do?
I'll do an under here, and I'm going to take my own Los Angeles Lakers as an under. I see it at 45.5. You agree with that?
Yep, I had that.
Okay, so the reason why is I think if this team is healthy, they win more games than that. But I just don't believe they're going to be healthy. I mean, Anthony Davis already almost got hurt last night. I do not see this team staying healthy. I think Davis misses at least 25 games. I think LeBron misses at least 25 games. And then when your fourth best player is Juan Toscano Anderson, if these guys are missing, if Davis doesn't play, they're going to be horrible.
Yeah.
So I can't trust them to stay healthy. If they do stay healthy somehow, I think the Lakers could win over 50 games. I think they could be a mid seed in the West. And who knows when you're in the playoffs when you have that much talent with LeBron and Davis, but I don't think they'll stay healthy. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, if you did not take the Lakers, I was going to take the Lakers because this is a team like we saw last year. This all falls apart if LeBron or AD are not on the floor, and the Russell Westbrook situation still being unresolved. I think it's a problem for them too because I mean they had a big deal about trying to move him. They couldn't get a deal done. Now talking about can you come off the bench in the second unit? I don't think he's going to take that very well. There's a lot of issues with that team.
Yeah, I still see reports coming out because obviously I am a Laker fan. I see a lot of the reports on Reddit and whatnot that it is still possible they get a deal done with him for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, but it's going to require them to throw in a couple of first-round picks. Is it worth it to throw in a couple of first-round picks for those two guys?
I mean,
I don't know.
That's a matter of LeBron saying I want to win right now. I need those two guys to do it. So I could see that.
Right. So we'll see. But if they don't make that deal and they have that current team that they have right now, if Davis or LeBron or both gets hurt, they're not winning 45 games. No way.
Yeah, this is also goes back to being LeBron's fault because they had the deal for Buddy Hield when he was on the Pelican, when he was on the Kings originally. They decided no, Russell wanted Westbrook. I mean, LeBron wanted Westbrook. So that's what you got.
Yeah, it blows my mind. I would have thought that when they got Westbrook, my initial thought process was, okay, they must know something we don't. There's no way us sitting in our living rooms and basements watching these games know more than Pelinka, and we do, and it's crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty bad. So I'll go up now. I'm gonna take an under here, and I'm gonna take my logic here is gonna be, I think again with your point with the health, and I think the load management here, I'm taking Brooklyn under 50.5 wins. Because I think looking at this Nets team, like KD has had issues with his health the last few years. Kyrie, obviously he's had the vaccine and they lifted now, so able to play, but even when he does play, he's always hurt. Ben Simmons, you haven't seen on the floor in a year and a half. I don't know how the fit's going to work very well there. It's taking a while to get growing, I feel like. I think this is a high 40s team. I feel like there's going to be a lot of games where, they're going to say, as long as it's not in the play-in, we don't care where we are in the season. We just want to get to the playoffs and get hot then. I feel like the 50.5, I think, is too high.
I like that pick too. Completely agree. I don't know if you knew in the last, I think it's 5 or 6 years, I'm not sure which one, teams with a 50 or over under are if you bet the over, you're 16-31 in doing so.
Yeah.
So teams that are over 50 typically don't do it. And it's funny, the Nets seem like a team to me that I would love a bet on them futures to win the championship, but I don't love the future of them winning more than 50 games.
Yeah, because I feel like with them, it's also very simple. It's like when you have a guy with Durant's injury history, with Kyrie's injury history, obviously Simmons, you don't know how the fit works on these role players here. Like there's going to be about a month or two of them trying to make it all work. You're not going to see Durant on back-to-backs. You're not going to see Irving on all the back-to-backs. You're going to see Simmons miss some time. Like I just don't see the math add up to the win total. Like I agree with you though that the future makes much more sense to win the title than to hit the over.
Yeah, I could see them winning 45 games, but I could also see them winning the championship.
Yeah, I think of them as they feel like again, like as long as it's not in the play-in, that's all they care about.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of teams fall under that same scope here.
Absolutely. Here, where are you going now for your next pick? You have one over or one under left.
So for my next over, and I might be jumping the gun here, and I am aware of that, but I'm going over on the Detroit Pistons at 29.5. I think the Pistons are a team that's ready to move on to the next step. I could be a year early on this, but you have some of these teams in the Eastern Conference that are higher than them. For example, Chicago, the Hornets, even possibly the Knicks. I think the Pistons can compete with any of these teams and possibly finish better than them. I think the Pistons are a borderline playoff team, and 29.5 is too low.
I think that's a good value play there because I love getting like the low total when you have a young, talented team and see if they can just top it because you're not asking them for a lot. Like they win 33 games, you're in the clear.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I could be jumping the gun. I could be 1 year ahead. They could win 25 games this year and then next year win 40, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun pick. You got to hope it's not turning like Detroit Tigers, who are a popular overpick in baseball this year, and then they
Yep.
completely flopped.
It could be something in the Detroit air.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, I still have one over, one under to go here. I'm going to follow the lead of Kevin Walsh from Sports Rate was out here last week. I would take the Nick over at 38.5 because I think the chemistry in the locker is about better here. I think Jalen Brunson does fill a big hole for them as the point guard and being a pure distributor here. I think RJ Barrett's going to be forward here. I like Isaiah Hartenstein as a stretch big as a backup to Mitchell Robinson because I feel like they had a lot of issues with that and on the Nerlens Noel did not fit that role very well. I do think a year, I think, away from all the chaos. I feel like that this is going to be sort of a team that flows better. There's less pressure on them in terms of expectations wise. And, I think it's about a 500 basketball thing. I get a couple of wiggle room here to take the over on the Knicks.
I agree. I think 2 years ago, the Knicks finished 41-31, and that was best case scenario. Last year, they finished 37-45, and I feel like everything had to go wrong for that. I think this year falls somewhat in the middle. And look, they won 37 games last year, and I don't think anyone would argue that they're better this year than they are last year, right?
Yeah, the argument against the Knicks would be that the conference as a whole was better. I mean, it might get harder for them to hit the total.
True, but I think the Knicks are a better team. I think everything went wrong last year for them to only win 37. So I think 38, or excuse me, 39 wins because it'd be 38.5. I think anything above that is a gimme. I'm with you.
All right, last one for you here. You have one more under. What are you doing with it?
So the under I'm going to go with is a team last year that started off extremely hot, and then as the season went on, people realized, oh wait, they're not that good, and that continued into the playoffs where this team just didn't work. And for me, that is the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls last season ended up after being so good as the 6th seed and lost in the first round in 5. And I see them going down, 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 down. I don't think the Bulls are even going to be in the play-in tournament this year. And if they are, maybe the 10 seed. I think the Bulls are way down. Lonzo Ball's injury is not going to help. I don't trust them bringing in guys like Andre Drummond and Gordon Dragic at this point in their careers. I don't think that helps. I think the Bulls are a team to really fade in this season.
Yeah, as soon as you started saying, I started typing down Bulls. I had the Bulls on my list, potential pick too, because I see the same things you're seeing here. Whether it's, they started out so hot, Lonzo got hurt. They're not the same team after that. DeMar DeRozan played out of his mind for most of the season.
Yeah,
repeat that as well.
Didn't even mention that.
Yeah, and again, the strength of the East. I feel this is a total. I think it's gonna hurt the Bulls here. I feel like this could be, like they win 40 games and they have a hard year, and like you still win the bet that way.
Right. You're looking at DeMar DeRozan had a career year at 32. That's very uncommon in this league.
It really is.
I do not expect him to do that again. I think he had a chip on his shoulder when he left the Spurs that it was like, I gotta prove the world wrong. And he did. Credit to him, but can't see it happening again.
And you look at the way they had it here. I mean, the issue I saw also was with Zach LaVine, like getting the big contract, they didn't have much room to like add really much of anything to the situation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm with you. I mean, obviously, I said it first, but you know what I mean? Now I'm obviously with you there.
Yeah. And the last one here, I have one more under to go. I'm going to go with another under here for the same sort of reasoning that I had with the Nets. I'm going to take the Clippers under 52.5 wins. I know they're getting Kawhi back. I know that they'll have a healthier Paul George, but again, load management. They are not going to play Kawhi back-to-backs. They're not going to do them 3 out of 4 nights. You're not going to see a lot of Paul George like doing the same thing because he's coming off his injury as well. I like the team. I think it's again the same spot as Brooklyn. I have a higher win total to clear as well, where I have to get over 53 wins to win this bet. If I'm taking the over side, I can see them saying, what, we're fine with 50 wins and we're the 4 seed and we'll just win our way through in the playoffs. So I'm going to take it under the Clippers.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. But do you know how unbelievably, incredibly deep the Clippers are this season?
I do know that.
I don't think I've seen a team like this possibly ever, where they're like 11th best player is Robert Covington.
Yeah.
It's crazy how deep they are. I don't think I've ever seen a team this deep before in the NBA. So maybe the load management won't impact them as much, but at the same time, you're throwing out a starting lineup of Robert Covington and Nick Batum and Norman Powell. You're not really going to be a 53-win team, are you? So
I think it's like a fifth. I think I said I think they're fine hitting 50, and as long as they get something else that everybody healthy, I guess something they care about because I think
yeah, it's a good play. It's a good play. I think a similar team to that is Golden State, where I think they really pack it in. But I did not take that one.
yeah, I also thought about the Celtics considering the chaos of the coach and what's going on with that situation, but I just felt like this team is too talented. If they'll find a way to win regardless, I didn't want to stay away from that number.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like your picks. I think you like my picks. I don't think we have any disagreements here. Just we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you had both of your unders were the ones I had on my board, so I was definitely in agreement on those.
I think you liked that Detroit pick. You thought it was flashy.
Yeah, I did like that pick. I thought about it. I had it a little lower on my list, but I did have it under consideration.
Yeah, but to I guess recap my picks, I have Milwaukee and over. I have Detroit as an over, and I have the Lakers and the Bulls as an under.
Yep. So reset here. Nick has the Bucks over 52.5 wins, the Lakers under 45.5 wins, the Pistons over 29.5 wins, and the Bulls under 41.5 wins. My picks, I have the Denver Nuggets over 49.5 wins, the Nets under 50.5, the Knicks over 30.5. So I get both New York teams in here. I have the Clippers under 52.5. Those are your NBA over unders. It's gonna be a long time before we get to these because the season goes about mid-April. So long-term play here, both of us.
Yeah, catch you in a while. Another one I had on my radar did not check. Everyone that was on my radar we had talked about already, but except these two actually, I liked the over for New Orleans and the over for Philadelphia.
Yep.
But didn't take them.
Yeah, I think I had two more overs I had on the board. I had the Timberwolves over as 48.5. I think that this team is motivated to do. I think that adding Gobert to that team makes a huge difference because it lets Karl-Anthony Towns play more freely at the four. I think it's make a huge difference to that squad. I also think Atlanta over 45.5. I think I like that one too. I feel like the Hawks had the off year last year. Now they got to sort of get themselves back on track.
Yeah, it really, if you look at the list, if you're looking at the same list I am, it shows you the list in order from the Celtics at the top to the Spurs on the bottom. Every team above the Lakers, I'm very high on. Every team below the Lakers, except the Pelicans, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm very low on. And of course, like the Pistons, I said as well. But like, it really is crazy how it can't be right because there's no way that the Hawks and the Cavs and the Timberwolves and the Heat and the Mavericks and the Grizzlies and the Nuggets and Nets, Sixers, Warriors, Clippers, Suns, Bucks all have good seasons. Someone has to have a bad season.
Yeah.
There's not enough wins to go around.
Yeah, there definitely is in the year. So I do want to thank you for coming on here. And people like we hear from us. They should check out what's going on with the Sky guys. They got a fun season Andor going on right now.
Very fun season. We're enjoying a lot of success with the Andor episodes. People seem to be really enjoying them. So if you want us, come to Sky Guys Podcast. I don't know if Mike will have a link or something in the description or the videos or something with you could follow the anchor page. There'll be some sort of link, but we definitely would enjoy having people listen to the Sky Guys Podcast, and I think they'll enjoy it too.
Yeah, we're recording this a week in advance. It's gonna be out on the feed. I think the first prior to the NBA season. Your brother Phil Fraietta is joining us here for episode 6 coming up here. So that's gonna be the latest Sky episode in the podcast feed for you to check out if you are so inclined.
Yeah, it should be a good time. I'm excited to really excited to listen to it with everybody.
Yeah, I'm excited to go. We're finally gonna see this heist this week. So we're gonna see how that went.
Yeah, it looks like these 3 episode arcs. This is episode 6 coming up, so it should be the quote unquote finale of the arc. So it should be an exciting thing.
Absolutely, here. And Nick, thanks for all the time. Really appreciate it. Before I let you go, people follow social media, keep out some of the stuff you're doing.
At Nick Fraietta _9, retweeting a lot of this stuff, Sky Guy stuff. So keep your eyes open there.